Welcome back, everybody's DestinyG's here. In today's video, we're doing it finally, how to W key like VENO. The first half of this video, about first 60% of the video, is going to be how to W key in solos. The best fighting tips from the best fighter VENO. He's had the best stats, I think, in the past 3 grand finals. In this cash cup alone, he had 8.6 average elims over 10 games. It's 86 individual kills, and it's more than like double everyone else around him on the leaderboard, which of course he's first place. Also, in the late half of the video, I'll leave a timestamp below, I'm going to be doing how to W key in duos. If you guys suck at W keying in duos, go watch that part of the video, and let's get straight into this with some solo fighting tips. This first tip is something that I guarantee you 99% of you guys do not know, and I only know this because VENO accidentally told to me last season. Whenever you're in the air and you're trying to sneak on someone or you're trying to catch someone off guard, just stop moving completely. It means you don't show up on visual sound effects, and 90% of the gliders in the game don't make any noise when they're not moving around. So you can see here, VENO's able to sneak up completely onto his opponent. Now he goes ahead and crouches around for a long time, trying to catch them off guard. He plays it extremely patiently, waits for a perfect opportunity to get this big beam, and what does he do? As soon as he gets the big beam, he teleports behind the guy with the 0-point augment, gets him behind and takes him out, catches him completely off guard. One very useful trick that VENO does to get opening damage on someone, especially when they're just boxed up like this or they're trying to rebox, is he goes ahead and does exactly this. He jumps just like this and then hammers with the right click on the way down and goes straight up into the air. This is a lot less risky than just trying to wall replace someone with a hammer, and especially if they're in a full built box, a lot of the times that's not actually going to break their box straight away. So VENO's able to do this, fly up in the air about 2 tiles, and then get a nice free damage shot onto them, and now he's able to play on the aggressive and either get a 0-point into their box if you use to crack them, or just continuously pressure them from multiple different angles, which we'll look at next. This is one of the best build fight techniques that you guys need to learn, especially if you want to play high ground in solos or duos. As you're coming up onto someone like this, and they're going ahead and actually getting this ramp on top of you, so you can see this other guy gets the ramp on VENO, what VENO does is places the floor straight away. Of course, this prevents him from getting edited on by the other player, but it also allows him to do this right after. Edits the floor with a right hand peek for himself, so he can't get right peeked by the other player, gets the full box on the guy from below, then sprays in and gets the stare. However, he doesn't do what a lot of you guys would do in this scenario when you have a stare on somebody. Instead, he plays it patiently, doesn't edit the guy down, out. Instead, he hammers up once, doesn't quite chop him, hammers up all the builds, gets that crack, and very important crosshair placement is he looks down as he drops down to get this wall on the guy, then he gets the cone slide, and the guy has absolutely no clue what's going on. He's still got his pencil out in his hand. It's game over for him. Okay, one of the best tips I can give you guys is to stop worrying so much about how to W key. Of course, that is very important, but learn how to defensively fight. Learn what to do when you get, let's say, beamed for 100 from the side, or you're in a situation like this where someone goes ahead and sneaks on you and hits you 120. What do you do in that situation? How do you not die in, let's say, your last game of a cash cup where you just need a few points to end game to qualify? Do exactly what VENO does here. It's basically a master at this, honestly. He goes ahead and builds 2 boxes straight away, a 2x1, and look what he does as well. He does this 4-tile edit with the right hand peak being created for him as he moves into the second box. So immediately, if he wanted to, he could do counter damage with this wall. It is so underrated. Don't do any other edit. Just do this 4-tile edit on the left hand side, which allows you a right hand peak as you come back in, like you can do here. Instead, VENO goes ahead and opts to actually build another box as the guy pressures him, gets a couple of quick heals off. Don't get greedy with trying to pop minis or bigs, just pop all your splashes and allow yourself to counter peek safely like VENO does. And how does he create a counter peek? Very simple. I talked about this like 2 years ago at the start of the series in the House W key like Kiriachi, is he builds an L-shaped box. So now he has 1 box here, 1 box here, and 1 box the whole way back here. So 3 boxes connected together in an L, just like this, and it allows him a whole load of edits. So if this guy tries to commit into one of his boxes right here, like he's actually doing right now, it means that VENO has a potential right-hand peek with this wall over here. So the guy's trying to commit into his edits. As you can see, VENO has the wall on him, allows himself a right peak, and this works for any angle that they approach him. You're going to have a right peak somewhere, hits a 172, and how does VENO clean up the fight? The patented waffle certified from VENO, where he does a sprinting side jump, and this honestly works so well, guys, you wouldn't believe. Just sprint, side jump out to the right-hand side, give yourself a right-hand peak again, and he takes the other player out straight away. Can you explain why you build in brick when you do 1v1s?
I've explained it already. It's realistic, and like you're fighting in brick in game, and I don't like building in wood. Really. It's realistic. Like who the fuck? Like let's say you hit me 100, DJ, right? You're putting unrealistic pressure on me that pressure wouldn't be put on me in game. And also, you can see me less. Yeah, because if I was building in wood, you'd be able to pressure me a lot easier than brick, and no one's reboxing in wood in game.
A really bad habit that a lot of you guys watching this video have is not using your spray weapon enough, and instead trying to pickaxe replace. Whether it's with the pistol or the Scar in this game, or even the Twin Mag SMG, I think it's probably best at this, is trying to do safer wall replace angles. Like right there, trying to wall replace from above with your AR, rather than hopping directly onto the wall where you're more vulnerable to a counter peek by the other player. Or in this scenario here, just trying to pressure from a longer distance to stop the guy healing. A lot of you guys would run up this like 2-box corridor right here into the other guy's full piece, which is a really bad play to do. And in that time, the guy's going to get some heals off, he's going to splash up, you can even maybe get a mini off. And of course, you're in his piece and you can counter peek you. Instead, VENO sprays through and gets a bleed through on him. He does this constantly, especially with the Twin Mag SMG, because of how broken that is. Also, another thing that he does is whenever he's hunting someone down, is he sprays their walls from a distance to sort of stop them healing up and make them make a mistake when making space. And also one thing that he does very nicely is he pressures walls down to 1 HP. Like right here, you're going to see in a second, is he taps down the wall a couple times, just learn the timing pattern of how much you have to spray, get the wall to 1 HP, and then now when someone edits and tries to make a play on you, like this other player is doing, VENO hops down, gets the wall, and gets a nice 120 tag. He does this constantly throughout his gameplay. This is a really simple but effective tip. Whenever you've got someone directly up on your wall like this, there's really nothing they can do apart from maybe try to run out of the box, but a lot of times they're just going to die doing that, or they have to try to aim you, which is what most people are going to go ahead and try to do. Whenever you've got somebody full boxed, or whenever you've got somebody directly on a wall like this, there's really no escape, they're just going to try to aim you. So simply do a wide edit like VENO does here, and then quickly reset the wall before they can timing shot you. So they're trying to line up like a max damage on you, you simply reset the wall, they shoot the wall, and then you take them out very simply. I know you guys struggle with people reboxing a lot, so these are a couple of things that VENO does to prevent that, and how he gets so many fights done within a short period of time. So first things first is he's doing that long piece for the blueprint edit to actually pressure the guy, and then now as he pressures from the same angles but from above, the guy is forced into reboxing. VENO predicts his right hand side, doesn't quite get it right, the guy goes back into his old builds, but how does VENO stop this guy from going back through his old builds the whole time? First of all, he controls this space around this way, then he goes ahead and swaps up the angle that he's approaching from. And look at, as he breaks the actual wall right here, he doesn't go for the close wall, but instead he goes for the back wall, the stair, so the centerpiece, and then finally the close wall. And lucky enough, this guy ran out of mats. But VENO again is very aware about where the options are for this guy to escape. Right here, places these left-hand walls, waits for the guy to actually use again his only escape into this box right here, and then very simply takes him out. It's all about predicting where they can go next and not trying to do it ahead of time. Instead, do it as they are about to do it. Catch them off guard as they do things, and then that allows you to go ahead and get walls on them and get damage on them much quicker and end fights much quicker as well. If you guys are on keyboard, make sure you use this tip during close quarter fights. Throw down a bush grenade if you have one, and it just means that you can basically counter the other person's aim assist, since a lot of players in these opens are on controller. And as you can see, VENO is able to right and peek around the bush in the early game fight, take out the guy very easily, and he's not able to hit him with his SMG at all while VENO's in the bush. Alright, let's go and look at some duo fighting tips with VENO consistently dropping really high kill games in FNCS finals with Queasy. One really big thing I think you guys need to work on is tracking your opponents, and don't just try to go ahead and commit to a 2v1 when it is presented to you. Instead, be mindful and aware of where the other half of that duo is when you're trying to create that 2v1, and see if you can do something about it. So you can see here, Queasy's busy fighting someone who's reboxing loads in this building. So he lets Queasy go ahead and continue that fight and actually just slow play it, as you can see. And while VENO comms for him to do that, he goes ahead and flanks around to the side and now has a free 1v1 with a damage advantage because he was thinking the whole time, where's the other half of this duo? And then very simply, he's able to outplay his opponent in this fight. This is a really useful thing that you guys can do. It's just a right-hand peek mantle right here. So you right-hand peek from underneath onto a stair just like this. Hits 118 on the other person. And then very good crosshair tracking here is able to go ahead and knock Tomsy. And now, very simply, again, good fundamentals. Queasy doesn't commit into the box here. He just plays long-distance angles like this side. Keeps the opponent busy. And then while he's keeping the opponent busy and pressuring and spraying and keeping him distracted, VENO is able to flank in the back, hop into the box, get a cone slide. And then as VENO hops into the box, now this is when Queasy comes in from the other side and keeps on pressuring to allow VENO to win that 1v1, and he hits the little emo. Let's get into some more duo fighting fundamentals for you guys. So there's a couple of key things that you should always do before you go ahead and start a fight in any game mode. First of all is to make sure you have an advantage going into the fight. So you can see here, VENO trying to do this, he's trying to get a beam on this team right here and isn't able to get enough of a beam to actually commit to the fight. So they go ahead and leave this fight very smartly. They're not just brainlessly taking every fight. And the second key factor, apart from having a damage advantage, is to make sure you're going to be isolated while that fight takes place. Edge of zone and a spot where no one can really see you, since there's no team up on this hill. No one can third party or spray them too easily. This is a perfect fight to take, and they're going to create a damage advantage very simply with this somewhat stupid, I would say. Like, it's quite surprising that someone fell for this play in 2023, but there you go. A mini just being left on the floor, and then both of them right and peeking at the tree right here. The guy runs up, picks up the mini, and immediately gets done pumped in the side of the head. And now VENO and Queasy have a massive refresh going into endgame, which allows them to win this game. One thing that VENO and Queasy are really good at is understanding how to pressure as a duo and how to pinch with good tempo. And what I mean by tempo is when one of them slows down, the other one is going to go ahead and speed up. So let's say you're fighting in a duo and one of you gets hit hard and has to heal up, the other one should speed up and try to pressure and keep that pressure on. So you can see right here, while Queasy does a big damage trade to one of them and maybe he has to heal up or reload, for example, this is when VENO speeds up. He gets on the wall, gets the right and peak, does a damage trade onto this guy again. Now, as VENO slows down, he holds his wall, especially because he's low HP. Queasy speeds up, he comes into the box and starts committing forward into the enemy space. And then again, now as Queasy slows down, realizes he's not going to commit into that room, this is when VENO speeds up. Instantly, they create a 2v1 to this guy, take him out of the game, and then now they've very simply got a 2v1. And you guys know how to, you guys should know how to actually win a 2v1. It's very simply, just make sure you're playing it together. Don't go from different angles where you can get isolated, but instead approach together like these guys are doing right here. And then as the guy is forced into being into a sort of last stand right here, now they split up. So the whole time they were chasing him together, not allowing him to isolate a 1v1 of either of them. And now they simply both jump in from different angles and take him out. Really well played. One very important skill that you guys need to learn for duo fighting that VENO has basically mastered is knowing when to 2v1, how to create a 2v1. So you can see here, they're trying to start with VENO 2v1 this guy. So Queasy support spraying and helping him out a little bit. I know he's able to get a 30 tag. However, the other guy, even though he's getting pressured and sprayed out a lot, he just goes ahead and reboxes way too much. And I think a lot of you guys in this situation would keep on trying to pressure that player that you're starting to 2v1 with. So whenever you get that damage advantage and you know you could probably win that fight, what you should do instead is turn your attention to the other half of the duo, like VENO did in the first duo fighting clip of this section. Now he comes over here, turns his attention to winning this 2v1 with Queasy. Queasy rushes the fight a little bit and goes down, but it's completely fine because VENO is right here ready, hits two nice tack shots, and immediately upon doing this, he slows down the tempo of the fight. He picks up all the mats, just holds his walls for a second, makes a couple boxes, and just slows down the tempo of this fight, and allows the other guy to either make a mistake or allows the guy to actually overcommit in, like he almost just did. Now, Queasy does a very good play, which is to go ahead and calm for VENO to come down here, pick up his pump. And now VENO's down the low ground with extra sight on the mats. He's able to counter shoot this guy, force him to heal up. At this point, VENO just goes ahead and commits to rezzing Queasy. He knows it's quite unlikely the guy hops down here to start fighting him. So he's able to get the res off here, and they're very simply able to kill the guy straight after. Again, another 2v1. It's really important that you guys learn how to 2v1 properly in duo fights and avoid just being in situations where you're just trying to fight a 1v1 for a long extended period of time when during that 1v1 there's an opportunity for you to swap targets and create a 2v1 like VENO did in this early game fight.